We're here in the desert to prove how much power and endurance is packed into the skill cordless 3/8-inch drill and screwdriver. With just one charge, we drilled 199 holes.
200.
And it still has enough muscle to drill through concrete and drive screws into metal with 2-speed trigger for better control. For any tough job at home or anywhere, take along the skill cordless drill and screwdriver and do it with skill.
With great skill and discipline, you teach what's been kept a secret for centuries. And when the lesson has been taught and learned, now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
Sir, excuse me. You just bought a new maintenance-free Firestone Forever battery. How come?
Well, the warranty. You see, if this battery ever fails to hold a charge for the original owner, that's me, in the car in which it was originally installed, right here, Firestone will replace it free with proof of purchase, provided it's not merely discharged or damaged due to accident or abuse. Oh, and I don't even have to put in water. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it sure does.
The Forever battery, now maintenance-free.
On Sundays, CBS Sports presents the Emmy Award-winning NFL Today Show with Brent Musburger, Jane Kennedy, and Irv Cross. We'll have Jane Kennedy going on to the field with the headline makers.
Irv Cross showed me 2 ways to stop these guys. So defensive backs, take note.
We'll also have Jimmy the Greek's predictions and incisive commentary by Jack Whitaker. The Emmy Award-winning NFL Today Show. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
A beautiful November Sunday, but not too much scoring. Let's check the scoreboard now and get you up to date right away. 7-3. Many of you watching this game in Philadelphia. The rest of you are watching this contest. New Orleans and Pittsburgh, and the Saints have moved the ball. They might have scored at least a field goal, but Archie Manning fumbled it away, and the Steelers alertly pounced on it. The Cardinals are dominating the Giants by 14 points. Atlanta and San Francisco. The 49ers had a sure touchdown pass dropped. Falcons bounced back with a touchdown, 7-3 in the second quarter. Typical Detroit-Minnesota battle in Bloomington, 3-0 right now. The Vikes are ahead. New England has just scored to go ahead of Buffalo 7-3. That game is in the second quarter. Cleveland and Houston, and first Seattle-Chicago, with the Seahawks leading the Bears by a score of 7-3. That is in the second quarter, so the Bears could lose for the 7th straight time. Now, Cleveland and Houston, they are scoreless in the first quarter of that game. And another one that is just underway, Oakland and Kansas City. They are scoreless in the first. And Jane, what have we got in our doubleheader game?
Well, Brent, in a little while, the Miami Dolphins will host the Dallas Cowboys in the CBS doubleheader game. Both coaches, Tom Landry of Dallas and Don Shula of Miami, reflected on how much this particular game means to them and how other teams react after you've won a Super Bowl.
The reason it is the biggest game is that we're both one behind our leaders in our divisions, and we only have 7 games to go. We've been down 2 already this year, early in the year, but when time starts to run out, then games become very, very important. So this has to be a must game for both Miami and Dallas.
We've had some big ones in the past, but certainly at this point in the season, this has got to be a big game. Our offense has to be able to control the football. We've got to have some type of running game. Now, Delvin Williams has been doing an excellent job for us. But, of course, the Dallas flex defense pretty much controls whoever they want to control. As far as defensively, you just have to keep your poise. You can't worry about all the shifting that's going on and then forget to play when the ball is snapped. You got to let all that camouflage go on and make your adjustments defensively, and then when the ball snaps, play tough defensive football.
I think the thing you've got to remember in our league, in the National Football League, that our game is pretty much of a mental game. It depends on how your players think, where you are, what you're doing.
You have to take winning and the success that goes with it, and you can't let it get to your head.
And I think when you come off the Super Bowl, in most cases you're overrated the next year from what you really are. other teams come after you much stronger than they've ever come, because if you win the Super Bowl in 1977, then you are the measuring stick for 1978.
Teams enjoy playing against teams that have a reputation for winning, and we've won through the years, so that's why teams enjoy getting it up for us. People enjoy beating the Dolphins, not so much because Don Shula coaches the Miami Dolphins, but I think the fact that we have won Super Bowls.
And when you're fighting for the Super Bowl, everything seems to be on the upbeat. Everybody wants to win. They're paying a great price. Once you win the thing, then you want to win it again, but subconsciously you're just not ready to play at the same level you played before. And so sometime along the season you get in a position like we are right now where you got to make up your mind whether you're going to come back and win it or not, or whether you're going to be watching the other teams play on Christmas Day.
And we'll have some highlights of games that are already underway as the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
A practical joke causes a strange bedfellow for Archie. Be here when he wakes up on the morning after, the night before, on All in the Family, tonight at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on CBS.
Okay, Irv, you want to check in on the Giants for us?
Okay, there's about a minute left to go just before halftime, Brent, but the St. Louis Cardinals leading that game right now by a score of 14-0, and lo and behold, as they said, they'd be the comeback Cardinals, so they didn't look like comeback teams today. Jim Hart early in the ball game in the first quarter goes to number 83, Pat Tilley here, makes a nice catch, he's hit here, but sets up a scoring opportunity again in the first quarter on the 5-yard line. Hart goes to Chandler, touchdown, and the Cardinals are leading at this point with about a minute to go in the half, 14-0.
All right, Irvin, the game that this audience is watching right now, Philadelphia Green Bay, been terribly entertaining so far, hasn't it? Watch now Whitehurst. He seems to be improving weekly for Bart Starr. He's under heavy pressure right here. Stands in, throws the ball to Middleton. This is a 50-yard gain for the Packers, and it led to a 43-yard field goal by Chester Markle. It was 3-0. It would have been 10-0. But there was holding on this beautiful catch here by Lofton. And watch James race in, but the 79-yard play is called back because of the penalty. Then the turning point in the first half. Bad snap, and Beverly not too sure what to do. Tries to kick it on the ground. Perhaps he should have tried to scoop it up, but then again, might not have made any difference. John Shara then came in, and watch the former UCLA star on the roll. This is why Vermeil's got him in there running the team. 7-3 Eagles after the extra point, and right now, let's send you right back to Philadelphia and Tim Ryan.
Tim Ryan and Sonny Jurgensen here at Veterans Stadium, and rather unique halftime show here. Some remote-controlled aircraft being flown around with Snoopy riding his doghouse, chasing the Red Baron, naturally. And I haven't seen anything quite like this, Sonny.
This is wild.
They're way up there, too, right near the top of the stadium here at Veterans Stadium.
Well, they had the first group of remote planes. They had them on the wires, you know, and the fans booed them pretty badly. They didn't care for that too much.
Well, this is the real thing here, a dogfight with Snoopy and the Red Baron. Meanwhile, back at the football game, a rather strange first half. Sonny, you look at these figures, with Green Bay having total yardage of 231 yards against only 83 for the Eagles, but coming up short on the scoreboard because of a number of strange events, and the one obvious one being the low snap from Larry McCarron, David Beverly unable to handle it, and the Eagles take it in for a score. Johnny Shara. There's Snoopy doing his thing and coming in for a landing. That's better than a Goonie Bird landing. Well done. And, the Packers dominating in the figures, 9 first downs to 5, 231 yards to 83 in total offense, but hurting themselves with penalties and turnovers.
A poorly played first half for Green Bay. They made all kinds of mistakes. Every time they'd get a drive, they stopped themselves on every drive because of their holding calls and the mistakes that they made. They hit Lofton with a long touchdown of 79 yards. It gets called back. They come back again and do it again, and he gets called for a penalty. And then, of all things, they try to be careful with the football. They're going to punt out of their own end zone. Beverly gets a low snap, kicks the ball around, misses it. The Eagles come up with the football on the 3-yard line. How many yards? They don't have very little, about 83 yards total,
right.
yet they're leading the football game.
Are you surprised that the Eagles, when they did have the ball, which was for 12 minutes of the first half, by the way, against 17 minutes for Green Bay, are you surprised that they have not thrown more than they have?
Well, they said they were going to try to throw the football, and because of their injuries, back condition, and you know, they had so many guys out, and getting some a pretty good game so far out of Campfield, and I think that's important. Maybe that's why they are running. Cleveland Franklin's holding up with his pinched nerve in his neck. He hasn't been injured, so they're getting a little movement that way. They are controlling the football, but I expected more throwing. I expected to see the three-receiver offense.
Well, we may see it yet, but the Eagles find themselves in front here due to the odd circumstances, and I guess Dick Vermeil will say, well, whatever it is we're doing, we're leading on the scoreboard. We'll be back here for the second half in a moment.
This is a bodybuilding course. Take it. If you'd like the chance to be in this kind of shape, join the people who've joined the Army. For more information, call this number toll-free.
Good old Charlie, that's me. Somebody's got a dead battery and they call good old Charlie, and I jump-start 'em. Rain, snow, day, night. Well, this time I tell them, get your own Die-Hard.
The maintenance-free Die-Hard has extra power to start your car when most batteries won't.
This is the last time.
Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, anytime.
The Die-Hard, sold only at Sears.
That's me, Ron Jaworski, and the Philadelphia Eagles.
And I'm Liz Jaworski. We want to show you a place that's special to us.
Valley Forge. It's quiet out here now, peaceful. But long ago, some brave men helped our country win its freedom here. They suffered terribly, but they endured, and they won.
Today, in Philadelphia, there's another place where people suffer and win, at the St. Agnes Burn Center.
St. Agnes is a special advanced treatment center for burn victims. The pain here can be great, both in the mind and body, but there's great strength and patience here, too. St. Agnes is funded by our United Way. We're proud to be pioneering its work. The United Way works in the Philadelphia area.
It works in your town, too. Thanks to you, it works for all of us.
The United Way.
Welcome back to New York now, and a couple of audiences watching earlier games have joined this pregame show. Let's get everybody up to date on the scores right now. Those of you who watched Green Bay and Philadelphia know that the Packers ran into some tough luck in the first half. Eagles hung tough and won the game 10-3, the final there. New Orleans and Pittsburgh, and Archie Manning and the Saints drove the Steelers' Iron Curtain to the wall before finally it was Bradshaw to Rocky Blyer. 20-14, the Steelers survived today. The Cardinals have dominated the Giants. The Giants have not been in the hunt in this game. It is 20-3, and Bud Wilkinson about to win for the second straight time. San Francisco had a touchdown pass dropped in the first quarter. Back came Atlanta. So now after beating the Rams on Monday night, they're about to wrap this one up today. Detroit and Minnesota. The Lions played them tough, led at the half, but in the second half, the Vikes and Fran Tarkenton incidentally had 3 front teeth knocked out, returned to lead Minnesota to this victory about a minute left. New England and Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills playing the Patriots much tougher than anyone expected. Still time left for them to win it. The Patriots coming off that scoring explosion of a week ago. 28-22, the Bears about to lose for the 7th straight time, but hold on. Mike Phipps is in that game. 5 minutes and 15 seconds to play, and they are rallying in Soldier Field. Cleveland and Houston, tough defensive game down in the Astrodome. 7-0, the Browns leading. Oakland and Kansas City, 7-3. Kenny Stabler has thrown 2 more interceptions in that game, giving him 22 for the season. Now, Irv, let's start in on some highlights. Why don't you pick up with the Giants?
Okay, and the Giant-Cardinal game. The Giants just scored another touchdown. The score now, late in the fourth quarter, is St. Louis 20, New York 14. But the Cardinals got on the scoreboard early with Jim Hart, a quarterback, going to work right away to his favorite wide receiver, Pat Tilley. Number 83 here makes a nifty grab along the right sideline, takes the ball down in the scoring position before he's finally knocked down. Hart goes to the air again, this time to Al Chandler. Number 87 makes the catch, and St. Louis takes a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Jim Hart this time in the second quarter just unloads the ball as far as he possibly can. Mel Gray comes down with it, a big bomb, getting the Cardinals out of the hole in the second quarter, allowing Jim Otis, who is now the Cardinals' all-time leading ground gainer, go over for a touchdown. St. Louis 14-0 in the second quarter. A few plays later, we see Jim Otis do it again. St. Louis 20, the Giants nothing, and right now the score with 6 minutes left to go or so in the game is St. Louis 20, the Giants 14.
All right, and it's 20 to, what was that?
20 to 10.
20 to 10.
20 to 10.
Okay, the NFL today will continue with more highlights in just a moment.
Zonk, if you want a date, get in shape.
Shape? I'm solid steel.
Chic shape, Zonk. Chic shape.
Get clean, get close, get comfort too. Get your face in chic shape.
Click in Chic Super 2, the only twin blades Teflon coated for incredibly comfortable close shaves.
Great shape, Zonk.
That's chic shape.
That's Super 2.
I see terrible things.
My future?
Your clothes. You'd look better in Hager slacks. Or a Hager sport coat and slacks. Even a Hager vested suit. All of today's Dacron polyester at prices that won't cost you a fortune. Now I see a romance. A beautiful woman.
My girlfriend.
My daughter. Imelda!
Hager, because looking good makes you feel good.
Go for the gold. The Danish heritage of American brewed Tuborg Gold. Never go for bronze or silver. Live to make the most of every day. Go for the gold. Then taste the triumph of Danish brewing. Tuborg Gold.
You make the most of every day. Go for the gold. Tuborg Gold.
All right, we have some more finals in. Checking the scoreboard. Minnesota wins today over Detroit, 17-7. Time runs out on Buffalo and Chuck Knox, 14-10. But the Bills have been tough against that handicap number this year. Seattle has just kicked a field goal, and that makes it 31-16 right now. With about 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go, the Bears are losing in Chicago. Green Bay and Philadelphia in the first half featured a little bit of everything. You know, we've all wondered about David Whitehurst. Is he a quality quarterback? Well, I think he proves it right here. Watch the blitz. 3 men converge on 17. Dumps it off to Middleton, and this is a 50-yard gain for Bart Starr's Packers. It set up a 43-yard field goal by Chester Markle. Now, Bart will run this play over and over. Whitehurst back. Lofton of Stanford breaks down the sideline. Outlaw can't defend against it. Lofton into the end zone, call it back. Holding on the play against the Packers, no touchdown. Then this play, bat snap McCarron. Beverly panics just a bit, tries to kick it off the artificial turf. And then John Shara, the former UCLA star, the rollout quarterback, comes in to run the Eagles. And watch now on the rollout as he goes on into the end zone for the touchdown. And the Eagles win at 10-3, 31-22. As the Bears had scored again. I gave them credit for only 16, so let me get that score right. And Irv, we've got more highlights.
You won't believe this stat, Brent. Listen, Archie Manning completed 22 of 32 passes for 344 yards, and the Saints lost. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat them by a score of 20-14 because they belong to this guy right here, number 12, Terry Bradshaw, who goes to number 88, Lynn Swann, makes a nifty catch and takes the ball down to the 13-yard line. Bradshaw again going to work to his favorite receiver, number 88, touchdown, and Pittsburgh took a 10-7 lead in the third quarter. Archie Manning had a pretty good day throwing the ball. As I said before, number 85, Henry Childs, is the guy who latches onto this one, takes the ball down to the 20-yard line, but eventually down to the 5 as he breaks a tackle from the 20. Manning hands the ball off to Galbraith. Galbraith goes the rest of the distance, and the Saints are back in the game in the fourth quarter, trailing at this point 14-13. But, of course, the ball game is put away right here as the Steelers go to Blyer. He goes in, and they wind up winning the ball game 20-14 in a hard-fought contest.
All right, we've run out of time for Jane Kennedy, Herv Cross, and Jimmy the Greek, I'm Brent Musburger. We hope you've enjoyed the NFL Today on CBS. We'll see you at halftime of the Miami-Dallas and the Tampa Bay-Los Angeles games, and we'll run down all the scores and complete highlights from around the NFL. So long, everybody.
The NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invite you to see and test drive the all-new LTD and Mustang. Light beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Firestone, makers of the new steel-belted Radio 721. Ask a friend about Firestone. Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
The Word, a shocking discovery that claims Jesus survived the crucifixion. They'll do anything to stop The Word. Starting Sunday, November 12th, The Word.
This is CBS.